All right. Tyler Anderson. How are you, buddy?
Another day in paradise.
um, you have made some changes to your business in the last year,
Mhm.
um, inside and out. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, whenever we first started, it was kind of two businesses in one. I don't know if you remember that or not. It was us, a big truck and auto repair, and then Dean's Auto as well. He has moved on to a different location, and whenever that took place, basically we completely redid the waiting room, make it more comfortable for customers, and completely redid our shop area back here to just make everything more efficient, cleaner, and just overall nicer for the customer there.
Nice. Your background, Tyler. Can you tell us a little bit about how you got into what you're doing right now?
Just kind of always took a knack to working on stuff. Started working on like lawn mowers and four wheelers out of my parents' garage when I was like 12 or 13. Then we had an old pig barn that I turned into a shop, me and a couple of my buddies, and it just kind of took off from there. And fast forward a couple of years and here we are. But just always enjoyed working on cars and really anything mechanical. We farm as well, so work on farm equipment. I mean, anything you name it. So
Oh, I was not aware of that. Are you doing farm equipment right now?
not personally in the shop. Just we have a family farm and we farm a couple hundred acres, small operation. So work on equipment at home, obviously when stuff breaks. So
Nice.
yep.
That's awesome. How did the current circumstances affect your business?
Well, it's taken our schedule. We're usually booked out. I mean, consistently pretty right around a week or so. But it's taken our schedule from being pretty consistent to being kind of sporadic now. We're seeing where, we might be, I think it was last week or so, I had a time where I was like, well, it's Monday. I don't know what me and the guys are going to be doing come Wednesday. But I mean, then all of a sudden the phone starts ringing and we're booked back out a week. But it just hasn't been as consistent as things were before. Um, as far as people fixing their vehicles, we've seen a couple people, kind of hold back a little bit because, we don't know what's going to happen as far as economically and everything. Seen a couple people pull back, but then also seeing a lot of our fleet work to where, they might not be as busy right now, so they're using that time to get everything back up in shape. And fleet work really hasn't affected that, or as far as like the diesel trucks and everything that we're working a lot of. Those guys are still, just want it fixed and want it fixed now, done right, and they need it yesterday by 5 o'clock. So,
Mm. That makes
but
sense. Not a lot of people are not using their vehicles right now, so obviously there's less traffic,
yeah,
less
but also
need for a mechanic.
But also people that even if they're not driving right now, as much, if they know they needed to get some work done that they've been putting off, when they were at work, I'm also seeing that come in to where they're like, well, I don't need it, so it's no rush. But while we have some downtime here, they want to get some work done. So we've just kind of seen things all over the board. But definitely fortunate enough to obviously still be operating and keep work coming in the door. So
Mm. You guys are obviously an essential business, right?
correct. Yep.
So, what are some of the um, basically the guidelines that you guys had to abide by while still doing your job? What did you guys change in the structure of the business?
Oh, basically we went from, I mean, a couple people in the waiting room usually at all times, but now only one person in the waiting room at a time as far as, customers there. And then also we have basically a plastic disposable film, like a seat cover or steering wheel covers that we're putting on, floor mats. My secretary's cleaning everything, I mean, thoroughly. As soon as a customer walks out the door, she's wiping everything down, making sure we're disinfecting all surface areas and whatnot. And same with vehicles too, whether it's the door handles, the gear shifter, anything that we might touch that doesn't have a wrap on it. And, most of the time we're wearing gloves and everything too there as well. But just a couple extra precautions there. Like I said, those steering wheel covers, cleaning everything thoroughly, whenever we get done with service and whatnot. So, I mean, it's definitely added a couple steps to our process, but it's also a good thing that way, just customers' vehicles are staying a little, making sure they stay clean with the seat cover and whatnot. And it's just better, safer for the customer and, better for us as well, just making sure we can provide the best quality service that we can. So,
yeah, I mean, definitely cultivating like new, better habits, like cleaning
yeah,
everything.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah. And we tend to forget that in like the dashboard or the inside of a car is kind of like an intimate space. Like it's like a living room. It's like sitting in somebody's living room. So germ wise, you start to think about it like this. A dashboard can be like full of bacteria because we constantly touch the dashboard and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have to like sanitize all that space for you and for the customer.
Correct. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's not like we're in the vehicles, a lot to begin with, just enough to pull them into the shop, and obviously do the service or work that needs done. So, most of the time, unless it's work on the inside of the car, which isn't all that often, we're not crawling around on the inside or anything. It's pretty much, pull it in, and it's very minimal, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at as far as how often we're in the vehicle, so, but definitely trying to keep everything clean and disinfected and kind of do our part and whatnot here. So
I get it. So what are some of the things that you think are going to be the new normal in your industry? Some things that are just going to stay.
I don't know. I think I guess it's hard to say because like I said, we've seen things from people pulling back to people fixing their older vehicle instead of buying a new one. I mean, it's hard to say, just because we've seen, like I said, a little bit of everything here. But definitely the new normal. I mean, the seat covers and all the covers we're doing now. I see us for sure keeping that and that away, just like I said, because you get a little grease on your hand or something, you try to wash it all off. That ensures if you still have a little bit of dirt on your hand or something, you're not going to get it on the customer's vehicle. And that's huge because, like you said, it's like sitting in their living room and you take off your shoes before you go in somebody's house, and it's kind of the same concept there in a way. So that's something that'll probably stay. But other than that, like I said, it's kind of hard to say here. We've never really seen anything like it. So
True. I know you're a very driven business owner. Probably the youngest fully driven business owner I've ever met. What would you say to other people in your industry and in other industries in general about like what's going on right now? And can you give them some hope, maybe some tips? Because there's a lot of businesses right now that are just like, business owners just like dropping the ball. Like, I don't think I can do this. I think we're going to have to close shop. What would you say to them?
I mean, I would say just over provide for the customer. I mean, right now, I think, especially with everything that's going on, I know a lot of like dealerships and whatnot have laid off a lot of their staff. A lot of shops are running what they call skeleton crews, which is, minimal guys to keep the doors open. The rest are laid off currently. Like I said, I would just say provide the best quality you can to that customer and going above and beyond. I mean, we've been just to try to help people out. I mean, we'll stay late if they can't make it by 5 o'clock, or just doing everything we can to make sure that the customer has the best experience possible, obviously, so they keep coming back there, which that's a practice you'd really want to have year round, not just in a pandemic, of course. But even if it comes down to we might cut prices a little bit, if someone's in a pinch, because I want to help someone out, and I hate when you see a vehicle that isn't really all that safe to be on the road, but they still got to haul their kids around and everything. So my answer to that would just be over provide for the customer and make sure that they feel appreciated, and do everything in their power to make sure that the work is quality and that all their needs are met and expectations are met there, for sure.
And that's also fulfilling. I mean, being consumer centric and taking care of our customers, that fulfill, like, it gives you kind of like a reason to work. Like this is my boss. This is my,
yeah.
Like even when times get hard, you're like, okay, I'm still getting some satisfaction because I'm still helping people.
Mm-hmm. And that's another thing I've kind of always had the mindset of. I know when some, you know, economic uncertainty is kind of upon us here. I watch a lot of podcasts, read a lot of books, and there's something that I don't know if you know Grant Cardone or whatnot, but something he said that kind of has always stuck with me. And he said whenever his business grew more in the recession than any of his competitors, and I have the same mindset of, you know, when everyone else is pulling back, that's when you go forward. And, you know, people might be cutting their budget on advertising or, you know, laying off some employees. Well, that's where I'm more of the, you know, while they're pulling back, now's the time to gain those couple more customers and kind of go the opposite direction of everyone else. So.
Absolutely. I think you struck the nail on the head there, because we did this come up in the group a couple times. Like when everyone is retracting, you want to be expanding.
Yes. Put the full throttle. I mean, just keep it going and try to keep the momentum you already had. And like I said, just instead of cutting back those budgets, you know, maybe try to have a little bit of faith and hope it works, and you know, keep pushing forward and keep trying to grow it.
I love it, man. Have you applied for any like PPP or any of the government programs for businesses?
Yes, we did the PPP, the Paycheck Protection or whatnot. Just because, like I said, we have had some slow times. It's not like we're still going full throttle all the time, because, like I said, it goes in such spurts to where there might be a week where I'm, you know, hoping I don't have to send anybody home and stuff like that. But we did apply for that there.
Nice. Any other grants that you applied for other than the PPP?
No,
Okay.
that was the only one, and we did. I mean, honestly, I was pretty impressed with how quick it was for us, anyway. As far as the application process, I mean, I had everything done, and it got approved in a matter of, I think it was like 2 or 3 days, and we've already closed on that. So
Nice. That's awesome. Cool.
But that was definitely a big help.
I'm sorry?
I said that was definitely a big help for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So businesses are supposed to open partially May 1st, right? Did you get that memo?
Yep.
Yeah. Any special preparation you're doing to, you know, start opening and stuff? Anything that comes to mind?
Well, obviously, being that we had the opportunity to and been blessed to stay open, being essential and whatnot, but as far as, you know, non-essential businesses that are getting to open back up, once again, probably the same opinion as I have before. Just push forward and try to make a good launch out of it. Get caught back up.
Take care of people.
Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. Awesome, man. Those are all the questions I had for you, man, unless you wanted to add something.
Nothing comes to mind. I mean, I think you pretty much covered about anything I can think of.
Yeah. Well, you're a busy man, so I'm gonna let you go do what you do best. I appreciate your time, Tyler. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time this lovely morning.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one.